Hey,
I evolve, I evolve, I evolve
hey, good morning.
Yay! Now,
Yay.
can I officially say yay? Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
we got
You're
it to
moving.
go.
You're moving, and I can hear you.
Yay. Yeah, I'm not frozen. Frozen. Huh. That was like, that's a good movie, but not really. When you're frozen on a screen, that's not too good.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Oh my goodness. Well, now
Wow.
I've learned a huge lesson today. So from now on, we don't think about it.
Cow.
I'm like, wow, I didn't know.
Oh,
My phone just can't carry the intensity of this whole thing. So,
well, and that's what we started to talk about this morning. And we're like, we got to stop talking and put this on our live stream because that's why we decided to go live so people could hear the things that we were talking about. And
exactly.
so when we do, then we can't.
I know.
Or
I know. I'm like, oh my God, when is this gonna work?
so now I'm like, now where were we in our conversation? Which has also made me decide to change my hat, by the way. Oh,
Nice.
here we go.
Okay. We were talking about the Schumann resonance and
Yes, yes.
how intensity it's up by 30 megahertz or something. It's really intense right now. A lot of people
I
are
don't know what that
feeling
means.
this energy, this intensity of the energy. And it feels like everything is sort of off in a lot of ways. I mean, I've talked to, my clients and people that I've talked to.
Jeez.
They feel very off. They feel, some of them are physically feeling headache, nausea for no reason, um, all kinds of physical manifestations, as well as just feeling off, like everything is sort of off right now. And,
Yeah,
so then this happens. I'm thinking, okay, everything is off,
for sure.
you
Yes.
know, either that or we don't got it. And then I thought about what was going on for us really also. Um, is was really interesting about the phone, not being able to handle the intensity of the download that's coming in and the process that's moving through.
Yeah.
So think
Yep.
about that in the context of how we are electromagnetic beings with
Yeah.
this energy flowing through us, and how if we are not, our receptors are not open, if our centers are not in alignment, if everything is off, we're not going to be able to be our best conduit for the spirit, you know so
Yeah.
I just thought about that when we were doing all that. I thought, wow, this is so significant because it's teaching us how important it is to have uh, to be upgraded, and to really be clear, to be a clear channel, to be a clear spirit, to be not holding any resistance,
Right.
and then we've got, Mother Earth is resonating this energy that's real intense, um, and it's such intense energy, and it's even up higher than it's been, and so we're feeling all this magnetic pull. So it's just been intense. I'm telling you, wow.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna try to go find us like a graphic to put up for today. If you feel like you've got some stuff that you can kind of just talk about, I can do that for a
Yeah,
moment if you want.
I did see a graphic this morning on the Schumann resonance. It shows a
Okay,
graph, and what if you
I'll
could
find
find,
it.
yeah, find a graph of the
Okay.
Schumann resonance. It shows the when it's normal, when it's peaking, it will get like white, really like white light. And
Okay.
that's something to think about too. It gets like white light. It gets to be such a great intensity, and we feel this intensity through our body, and there's only so much, um, I do believe the human body can handle, honestly. And this is why, like lately, I've been doing a lot of studies on bilocation, shape shifting, um, bilocating, shape shifting, becoming invisible, transparency. I mean, think about these things. These are things that we think about and we think this is something we just watch in Harry Potter, but no, this is something that's very real. But it only comes about through letting go and becoming more wave and less and more frequency, less matter. Letting go of becoming no one, no in no place and no time, and just being very pure in our light, in who we are as a light being. And I think that it's all possible, and it's in the whole realm of things. There's great
Mhm.
possibility in anything that you want to achieve, but it's all frequency. And so then you got the Schumann resonance going on with the earth, being more energy, feeling so much energy and overload for people. I don't know, just a lot of
Yeah.
things going on in my spirit right now. That I woke up this morning and I thought, and you know what? How you set your morning too. Intention is so powerful, because I got up this morning and a lot of things were running through my mind, and I'm like, I do a sacred prayers in the morning, and I burn my sage. I have like a morning system that I go through. I get up and I do my prayers and my intentions, and I'm saging and
Mhm.
set my shirt on fire. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't believe this. I do not believe this. I set my shirt on fire doing my sage.
Right.
And I'm thinking, this just figures. This is what's going on right now. This is the energy. It's like everything is just lit up. It doesn't feel comfortable all the time, and it's making you learn how to step over the crap in your life and the things that happen that are not really conducive to feeling comfortable. And so that's what this resonance is all about. It's an intensity. And then I got online and I was looking up. I did not know you can buy like a Schumann resonance, uh, like a box. I don't know what you would call it.
Oh.
And so you can omit this energy through your household,
Oh.
so that it's supposed
So
to.
it's current?
Yeah, it's like it omits the what would you call it, the the resonance that's good. You don't want it being too high. I forget what it is, um, but there is a certain amount of megahertz you want. I think it was,
7.83.
Yep, 7.83. That's what you want. So it emits that 7.83 resonance through your household or whatever place you're at. Um, and I'm thinking, wow, that's pretty interesting.
Well, I'm finding lots of graphs. I just want to make sure I'm finding the one that's for today. So that's the thing is,
Yeah, if I
you can
today might
find,
be
yeah, you can find them from like, weeks ago or from like August. We don't really want that. We want the one that's
today.
for
Right.
today,
What
right? So, um, I have one for today, and I hope this is the one that's okay. I see 12, 12, 12, 12, 17. Okay. So,
Well, good for you. I was looking around for that and I couldn't find it.
yeah, it's
A
tough. It's tough. It takes a little bit of digging.
little
And
digging.
I found one from somebody on Twitter, and you know,
Yeah.
um, that's fine. That'll work. I mean, they're referencing it, so um,
Yeah.
no big deal.
Yeah. I'm looking up something here. Hold on one second.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just getting the share window here, um, and then I'm gonna click back and bring it up so you guys can see it. Um, Here we go. Can you see
Okay.
it?
Yeah. There we go. That's exactly what I was talking about. Yeah.
Can you see it? Okay, Drema.
Yes. I see it. Great. Perfect. Um,
Okay.
that is,
So right here, I'm pointing to it like you guys can see it. I don't think you can see my cursor.
yeah.
The white there is yesterday, and you're saying that's when it gets the highest, right?
Yes. Yes.
So it was peaking out.
Yes. It was really peeking out.
I
And
can see it better on my own screen, so I'm gonna flip over to the other screen. I'm
yeah.
also gonna get rid of that graphic so it's not in front of my face.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead. Yeah. That's really cool how you can do that. That's really neat. But that's what I was looking at this morning. The resonance, how high it's been. And they were talking about the intensity of people feeling
Yeah. So the
how
graph is
it's
actually,
affecting your physical body. So I wonder if grounding, when you ground, like say you have a grounding mat. I have a grounding mat. I know you
I
do too.
do actually, right underneath me right here, like where my arms are right here, there's a grounding mat right here.
Beautiful. Okay.
Yeah. It's
So
like all my stuff. It's like, it's very long. And so all of my electronics are on this
on
grounding mat.
wonderful.
Mhm.
That's beautiful. Yeah. I wonder if using a grounding mat, which changes the energetic flow into the body, which we know. I love that movie about grounding. If anybody hasn't seen it, you need to really check into it. I forget the name. I think it is just called Grounding, but
Oh,
the man that invented the grounding mat is on there, and he talks about how powerful he's seen that people that when they were connected to the earth, how that exchange of positive and negative ions went through the body and changed, and it relieved inflammation in the body. It relieved all kinds of symptoms in the body by grounding. Um,
mhm.
so I thought that was really pretty cool. So I'm wondering if the Schumann residency can, if grounding helps us deal with the Schumann residency. That would be something I don't,
Yeah. Well,
I don't,
yeah. Because I mean, everything is energy, right?
right.
And so it's kind of, yes. I mean, somebody else could probably speak better to that.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
I'm not an expert. All I know is
right.
grounding does work. I sleep on a grounding mat every
Yes.
night. And
Do you
um,
have the sheet? Do you use your sheet? Because you have the silver
I have
sheet,
a
right?
sheet, yeah, but I also I bought a mat too, and I
Oh,
find
okay.
the mat works better. Because it just sort of, I don't know, the mat seems to work better for me, but I can tell the difference when I don't use it. I have a lot more inflammation in my body. It really brings down inflammation and stuff. From, as you get older, your body says, "Ooh, you didn't treat me so nice when you were 25."
I sleep on a smaller version of the gem mat that you have, the big
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
I sleep on a smaller version of that. That seems to be
Yeah.
helpful, and I probably don't even need to turn it on, but I turn it on so very low.
Okay. Yeah, just with with the gems in it is that
Yeah,
the amethyst in it. I mean, anything that you're doing
yeah,
that alters, we are such energetic beings, just energy flowing and coming and going. And so anything that alters the energy that you partake into around your body, where you put, that's what, sometimes we utilize crystals, we lay them on clients to help, like the rose quartz helping with the heart center. Um, hey, good morning, everybody. I'm seeing little comments coming up. I
oh
didn't notice
good,
that. I didn't notice that. That's cool. Yeah,
oh
we
good.
see all the yeah, when you put the, use rose quartz, we use different crystals on the body because those crystals resonate an energetic flow, and everything is energy, and we know that everything is
Yes,
energy.
yes,
Um,
ma'am.
and so it's really just cool. So that was what was really sort of connecting for me this morning was how everything is energy, and um, that there's sometimes that, the Schumann resonance, we can't control that. But then I read another article. This is another thing I was thinking about. I was, just scrolling through stuff, and I found an article. Most people would be like, "I'm not going to look at that," but it said it,
Why?
it was, well, because it was more like, why did we call the coronavirus to us? That's what's like what the whole thing was about. It's like
Oh,
we called this to us, and I'm thinking most people would not. How many people are like, "Yeah,
I'd read that.
I called that terrible thing into my life." You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that was the energy behind it. Like, oh, I had this thing happened to me, and I don't know why I called it to me.
Oh,
Um,
you mean not as a world, but as an individual that got sick. That's what you mean?
no, I think
Okay.
they were talking about collectively. That's what, and the whole,
Oh, okay.
but they were like the collective. Why did we call this thing to be? And then the basics of the whole thing. After I read the article, I thought, I think I'll repost this on Destiny Words. This would be a great thing for people to read. But then
Yeah.
I didn't want people to take it wrong, like I'm saying, well, you called this to yourself, because there's
But
people that
I
I
tell people that
personally.
though. Personally, I tell people like,
Oh yeah.
don't stop convincing yourself that you're going to, but I mean, I would say that with any illness, I mean,
Yeah.
anything, you know, convince or, because it's, our words are powerful. Our thoughts are powerful.
That's right. You're
You know,
creating the life you have. You are creating it. I
that's
believe that.
right.
And that's
Absolutely.
that's what grabbed me because I was yesterday I started watching I rewatched the Secret again. They've got it on Netflix right now. So I watched The Secret again. It's really good. A lot of good information in there about how you create your life, what you speak, what you think, holding that intention, taking it into your center and holding on to that, and you're going to create the life you want and love. And if what you're living is not what you want, you need to change the way you're thinking because that
Right.
is what's creating it.
Well, and I talked about this on a different podcast, but if you believe in the power of prayer, then you need to be able to believe in the power of your thoughts because you are a divine being. So that's exactly what you're doing when you're praying. So
Yeah.
quit praying to get sick.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you doing that? Same
And
thing.
it's everything, it all fits together. It's so powerful. It's all connected, honestly. So I read this article this morning about the coronavirus, like why did we call this to us? And it ended up really the person that wrote it really rolled it around really good because in the end it came out we were calling for more time. We're calling for to stop for a little bit. Where we live such a mass hysteric life in this country. We're running. We got to run here, run there, go there. I mean, a lot of countries don't live like this. They live a more slower paced life.
Mhm.
And so we called this experience to us to stop everything. We needed a halt. Stop everything. I'm going to spend time focused on me. I'm going to spend time focused on my family. I mean, I've had testimonies of clients even tell me, it was a terrible thing, but it allowed me to spend more time with my newborn child.
Aw.
It allowed me to spend more time with my children. When the whole first shutdown happened and we were just like locked down for the first like couple months there. And it was different. It was a whole something I've never experienced in my lifetime, and
Yeah.
and I hope to never experience it again, honestly. But it did make, even for me, I had to take a step back. I started using my sauna every day, just taking care of me and going into a different mode for
Yeah.
myself. So that's what the whole article was about. I still might repost it, even though it sort of comes off like, when you first read that intro to it, you're like, what do you mean we called it to ourselves, because that's how everybody says. I mean, everybody will say that. And even clients sometimes when I say, what do you mean? When I say, oh, well, this horrible experience happened. And I'll be like, well, what are you thinking about? What are you stressing about in your life, And so interesting.
Our friend Jen, that usually catches us on Friday morning, said, I started doing that and my dreams have been more vivid, she said.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's that.
And she already has really vivid dreams. Like they're like prophetic.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, I had this dream and like, this is going to happen. Or like, she's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. I have dreams all the time. Well, I travel a lot, but I have a lot. If I'm not traveling, I'm dreaming. And a lot of them are crazy and ridiculous. And then some of them are very prophetic and give me insight of what's going on in my subconscious and around me, So dreams are so powerful. That's another thing they do. They are so powerful and I believe that the universe, that spirit uses those dreams in those night seasons because we're so occupied in the daytime with everything going on. So to really, we check out and we go into that other space. In fact, I've got an app on my phone now that I can check my sleep and it'll tell me how long I slept and when I was restless. And it's like every night.
Are you wearing something when you sleep though?
No, it's in the bed. I got a new bed. It's in my bed. It's weird. It's weird, but it's in the bed. And so I'm
really, I'm glad you have that mat in there then. I'm glad you have a grounding mat in there.
Yeah.
That kind of freaks me out.
I know.
Okay.
Anyway, the cool thing about it is I'll have nights where I'm traveling and I'll look on that app and it will show me every night. I leave the bed at about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I don't return till 2:30
So what
sometimes.
does it show you?
Well, it'll show a gap, and it says restless.
Oh,
And then it'll show, resting. It'll show me like a real dark color, resting, restless. And every night between this time, I get very restless. Then it shows me restless. Well, that's about the time I wake up in the morning. I'm like, wow, I was in Ireland all night, or I was in Europe all night. And I'll be like, I'll remember it. And then I'll look on that app and it'll show me exactly when I was gone. It's really, which really is cool.
Jen is commenting. She's like, yeah, she has dreams and they come true. And sometimes they've been about people that she's met or have not met yet, or places that she's never been.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes too, I've had conversations with her, like possibly that it's been like past life stuff or stuff that she has yet to like heal, that she knows she needs to heal, or that it's like pulling off a layer or preparing her to heal that wound for whatever reason. Like we've had some really cool conversations. Like she's amazing. So
that's awesome.
I love having those conversations with her.
I had a experience a couple weeks ago. I have a friend that was in the hospital with the virus, and they were in ICU, and I had a dream. It woke me up that I walked into this room, and it was very different. It was like really lacy and white. I don't know. I can't explain it. And then I seen this person's mother, and I seen their children, and I said, where am I? And I walked up to somebody. I didn't know these people. The only people I recognized were those. And they said, well, you're at so-and-so's funeral. And I was like, what? And they were like, they said, you're at the funeral. And you're at this person's funeral. And so I immediately, I pulled myself right out of that. And I started praying with intention for this person, that they would make it through, that I didn't know how sick they were. I guess they had double pneumonia and the virus and was in ICU. And so they are out past that now and back coming into the side of life of wellness again. So,
good.
So that was work. That was such intensity, but that's what I'm saying. I agree with Jennifer. That is how spirit can utilize us when or even our sleep state. And in that, to show us something that really needs attention. This needs prayer. You need to put your energy toward this, because this is very serious. Or even if it can be people, like she said, that we don't even know. I had a crazy experience I'll never forget. It was like maybe 15 years ago. Could have been 10 years. I don't know. Anyway, long time ago. A long time ago, I had a dream that I was I was visiting a Native American. It was like a reservation, and I was there, and there was a teepee, and then I went, and this Native American invited me into the teepee and said, we are going to do a blood brothers covenant. And I said, what? And he said, we are becoming blood brothers, and I want to do this covenant. And that's where they put a cut in your finger, and they cut themselves, and you mix blood.
Oh,
you do this blood brother covenant. So we did the blood brother covenant, and I woke up the next day, and I had a cut on my finger.
Oh,
and I was like, holy crap!
Yeah.
Where was I last night? And I remembered the whole thing. I've never forgot it, because it was so.
Do you think maybe that was a past life?
I have no idea. It could have been, but I feel like for me now, as with what I do and my Native American heritage, that I have really endeavored to connect to even more in the last 5 years. I feel like I've really tried to. I've got books on Native American healing, and I really want to connect to that, my Cherokee heritage, through my great grandmother. But I think it had something to do with that. Honestly, I think I called that experience to me because I was wanting to connect to that even more. So how much more can you connect even when you become blood brothers? Now you're blood with the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I'm blood anyway, to a small degree, it's there.
Sure.
But now it's almost even a oneness in the spirit and in the mind,
Mm-hmm. Do you see the message from Daniel?
Oh yes. Okay. Oh.
He said I dreamt that my eyes changed color, but it was a pigment of my imagination. So like maybe some crazy color like orange or something.
Yeah,
That'd
that's
be
amazing.
interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. That's cool. Yeah, so dreams are very powerful. I have a lot of books on dreams because I have, I have so many, and they send me so many different places. So I got a lot of books so I can get up and look things up, you know, when I'm when something is in question that I don't understand. Like I had a dream the other night about a truck, and I'm like, what's that mean for somebody else? This person had got a new truck, and but the truck was it was like a tow truck. But you ever seen those tow trucks where the back slides down,
Yep. A
and then
flat a
yeah,
flatbed.
flatbed way, and then they'll latch the car on it and they'll move it right up
Yep.
yeah, it was like that. And I was like this, and so I got a hold of the person. I said, I believe that spirit is telling me to tell you that something is shifting for you, and your mode of transportation, what's moving you, is going to change, and you're going to be able to lift those things right off the ground that are bothering you. It's not going to be the same anymore because this person was in a lot of stress over life and situations. I'm like, so you're going to start towing that shit in a new way, excuse me, in a new
It
way.
is no BS, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So yeah, that I thought that was cool. So I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I do believe I do lucid dreaming myself. I do. I have some dreams that are so real that
I don't think our friends on Facebook, which most people are watching, I don't think they see that message from Daniel because he's watching from Periscope.
okay.
So Daniel asked, do lucid dreaming? And I think lucid just means that you are controlling, you are aware of that you are, or you're having some direction in your dream. Like
Yeah.
Veronica was talking yesterday on the Vibe Tribe um, to determine maybe your age in a dream, or like if you are interacting at some, to
Hmm.
look in a mirror or try to see yourself. I think she kind of like backtracked a little bit because there's some like weird portal stuff sometimes that happens with mirrors. So
Yes.
she was like, wait, maybe I don't want you to actually look in a mirror. So she kind of backtracked that a little bit. But she just said, try to figure out how old you are in the dream sometimes. That
Oh,
just to
wonderful.
determine some lucid things and just kind of some tips about, whether or not it's an actual lucid dream or that sort of. I'm not that vivid, man. When I conk out, I'm out.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at my grandparents once, and literally somebody ran into the house, and like with a car, and I
What?
I barely woke up. Yeah,
Wow. Oh, you
and
sleep
I was a
deep.
kid.
Yeah, when you get into it, you get into a deep rest. Yeah.
Yeah, well, my grandparents lived at the end of like it was a neighborhood, and so you drove down the road, and then you'd have to turn. But if you didn't turn, you would run into their front door, and
Oh, okay.
they did.
They did. Wow. Wow.
And yeah, and
That's
my
amazing.
grandma. Well, I think I woke up when my grandma started screaming,
Oh, yeah. That wake me
and
up. My grandma started screaming.
yeah, the only time I ever saw my grandpa in boxer shorts.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
the only time ever saw his legs ever, and yeah, that was really interesting.
Wow.
Somebody was drunk, ran into the house.
Yeah. I've never been able to rest like rest. I've always been since I was a kid because I've started having experiences by the time I was like 5. So I never really got into being able to really um, get into real good sleep. So,
Yeah, but I've always been had a very hard time uh, going to sleep. Like it takes me a long now as an adult. Like I just don't go and lay down. I'm not going to lay there
yeah,
for.
roll around. Yeah.
I'm just not going to just lay there.
Yeah.
I can put myself to bed eventually. But as a
Yeah.
kid, I would lay there and I would lay there,
Oh, yeah.
lay there.
It takes me a while to get relaxed and get into that place of just letting everything go. I don't know. They say that's a woman thing, but I don't know. Where you just can't, your brain's just going 500 miles an hour and you've got to turn it off. So it's like clicking down, click,
Yeah,
click, click.
yeah. It takes a long time.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
it does. But yeah, that the human resonance thing was really interesting to me.
Yeah, it is. There's also you've said things to me like when you were it was this, I could tell it was this person, but they weren't themselves. Like it was, like you've said, I don't know if it was in, it probably has been me in the past. I just don't remember specifically. Like where you said it was so and so, or it was you, but you didn't look like you. You were
yes, right
blah
in the
blah blah.
dream.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
know it was you, but it
But you didn't
wasn't.
look like yourself. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Um, I think those are interesting too. When
yeah.
people
I
talk
think
about
so
those,
too.
and then there's other things too that are interesting that psychology has done a lot for us. Well, over the years about with some clues in dream study of what certain symbology things have. There's so many symbolic things in dreams, but ultimately it's how you feel. Like oh, there was this black panther, and for some
Right.
people that might seem like intimidating, but in your dream you're like you felt like protected, you
Yes,
know
yes.
um, for
Yeah.
whatever reason. But it is a symbol of protection if you looked up the dream thing. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
so,
Reminds me of like I had a I always see spirit animals with people, and one time I was with a client and I seen this. I said, "There's a giant." What did I say to her? I said, "There's a giant um, albino snake around you," and she goes, "What?" And she started screaming. I said, "Not really. I'm seeing it in the. That's the spirits showing me that. Hold on, I gotta plug the computer in. It's acting like it's gonna go dead on me.
oh yeah, you don't want that.
No.
But it's a good time for me to tell you that Daniel is
There you go.
interacting. He was saying, he says he gets sleep paralysis, half awake, can't move, feels like there's a presence, had it for years. I had a client right before COVID, the time of COVID when everything was shut down,
Yeah.
and that came to me for Reiki. And when you do energy healing and you have when you're touched,
Yes.
so when you're a little touched, those things tend to go off into the land of shamanic healing as well. You just does. And so
Yes.
my Reiki sessions tend to go quite long. And this man had that as well. And in his younger years, he did self-injurious behaviors. We talk about special ed areas. That's what we call them, self-injurious behaviors. There's a lot of psychological reasons for that, but we don't need to go into that. But and part of his experience was some sleep paralysis and some things that he experienced on the darker side of dreams. And
Yes.
so if you're able to think, and so you might not be able to move or move your mouth or talk or anything like that, but you're able to think. And so
Mhm.
because you're an energetic being, you need to tell it to get the out of there, and
Right. Yeah.
in your head, scream it in your head, or whatever you want it to do. I mean, if you wanted to show itself, or I personally wanted to put,
Yeah.
you're the captain of the ship in this experience. So you need to alpha mail it to
Yes.
the, times 100. Like you're the biggest, baddest Leroy Brown, Leroy Daniel, and,
Yeah.
and tell it where to go.
Yes.
That's what
That's
you
right.
do
Yeah.
in your head.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I've met other people that have sleep paralysis. I don't. Um, I don't. I just got a message. Hold on.
I know, I could hear
As
you.
I
I
see
was waiting for it.
my phone lit up. It caught my attention.
Oh, I thought it was a spirit message. Okay.
No, no, my
So
phone.
anyway, yeah, Daniel, if that helps, I hope it does, because
Yeah.
we're not often not taught these things, and so it takes a lot of support from, and that's why we're doing this. So if you work in
Mm.
the light side.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, Jennifer says, and I can jump from one person to another. So she's dreaming and she's getting messages. I've often wondered if she's gonna like develop any of the, like,
Yeah. Just keep moving forward and
yeah.
opening her consciousness to more experiences.
It will anyway. Like with this Schumann resonance
Yeah.
is activating more
Yes,
consciousness,
it
and,
is. That's
and consciousness is it's activating more of our DNA strands as well. And if
yeah,
anybody is unaware of that, we do actually have more than a double helix DNA.
yes.
The
Okay.
stuff that the Human Genome Project that mapped the double helix. They also we have stuff that floats around inside of our cells. They called it the junk DNA. It's not junk.
Yeah.
But as the Schumann resonance goes up and other things happen that in our environment,
Yes.
or just by sheer taking care of ourselves and working on it and activating it ourselves, I guess. I mean, there's no way. It's not like you can take a test to say,
No.
did I activate this DNA? I don't know that our science is even, capable of that. So obviously they didn't map it with the genome project. So
Right.
it's
Exactly.
also doing those things. I think there is some science that does, but I don't have access to it. But I've caught wind that there is. So some of it, but
Yeah. I'm wondering if that what's going to, what the residency is going to be for the 21st with so much going on the 21st, you know.
well, we'll be here. We'll be live
Yep.
at 2 p.m.
Is it 2 p.m.? Okay. On the 21st.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Is it the conjunction or the convergence? Because I've heard
I
both.
thought it was, yeah, I've heard both too. I thought it was the conversion.
I think, what did we call it?
I don't remember.
I think we called it the convergence, but I could be wrong.
Convergence. Yeah. Yeah, 7.83 hertz. I guess that is a B flat if it's put in a musical note.
Oh,
It's the second 2 octaves below the lowest state on a piano. Wow.
what is?
That is the 7.83, which is that's what it is when it's converted to a musical note. So if you wanted to play it like a musical note,
Oh, okay.
have you ever gone online and you can listen to music that's like or digital sound that is supposed to resonate at certain hertz?
Well, each of the chakras have their own.
They have their own, yes.
They have their own hertz. They have their own.
Their own hertz, yeah.
They have their own. Is that it?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, that could have something to do with that because they also have a note for each chakra. You know how you do the yum yum yum.
Yeah. Yum lam bam lam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Daniel wanted to point out he could see it at one of it was so a couple years ago he woke up and whatever it was standing behind his bed, and yeah, it scared him.
Ew.
Yeah. That would be something that I would just tell it to be gone just for
just leave.
Just to like I would call in those archangels just to go ahead and go into the underbelly of whatever just to go ahead and find it. Tell it
I used
whatever.
to have
never come back.
I used to have spirits show up in my bedroom often, and they don't do that anymore. I put a boundary on my bedroom. I'm like, you're not allowed anymore. Don't come back. Unless
No
if it's not an emergency, don't bother me, And so once in a while I'll have something.
Oh yeah, but were they were message.
Yeah, they were bringing messages.
Yeah.
These were transitioned energies. Now he's not talking about that. He's talking
I don't think so.
Yeah, no. But any dark energies, I don't ever have that. But man.
Well, you and I had an experience with people who were calling in stuff from that were of a different dimension, and they were not incarnated.
Right. Yeah.
We were hired to do a house cleansing because they were having trouble in the house. And I don't
Yeah.
think this person thought that we were going to figure it out quite quickly, that
Yeah.
they were actually inviting them,
Yeah.
whatever the thing was. We wanted no part of that. And
Right. Right.
well,
The
you
energies.
reap what you sow.
Yes.
We can get it out of here, but you keep inviting it back.
Have it back, right? If you invite it back, I can't do nothing for you, right?
And the first thing you say is, well, now I kind of miss it.
Yeah. No. Yeah. What?
What?
No.
That, and well, talk about some codependency.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe
I think people
maybe
can get like that. Don't you think people can get like that?
yeah.
I mean, I've seen it before where people get sort of codependent on, um,
Didn't Ghostbusters do a whole movie on that?
yeah, I think so.
Where the lady that played the violin, she was all like, like it was Sigourney Weaver. Remember?
Yes. Yes.
And
Okay.
then yeah, the thing like possessed her or something.
Disaster. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they
God,
did. Yeah.
no. Who does that? It's just weird.
Yeah, I know. Hoping to
Wow.
come up to stuff. No, you got to be careful, honestly. I do believe you have to have some kind of, not, not, I don't know what the word is. You got to be careful with what what you invite into your space, honestly. That's why I'm very careful. That's why I set my attention every morning. Um, you know, to bring invitation to those things in the white light, bring my guides and those energies that I walk with every day that protect me, in the light of Christ, you know, and bring out this good vibes and everything I need, and everything else has to stay out.
Yep. What was that character's name? I can't even remember. Zool. Zool.
Oh, wait, which one are you talking about? Oh, that one in the first Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, when she was yeah, it was just a weird ugh.
yeah, I know.
That like creeped me out when I was a kid. Like that stuff I
Yeah.
was I was always so um aware of that stuff. I don't know. That just freaked me out. It was supposed to be comedy, and
It scared the
that
crap.
bothered me. Yeah.
I didn't like it at all because I was already having all kinds of supernatural experiences. I'm like, I don't want nothing to do with this. I did not want nothing to do with it. And
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, I think I was like 16, and I went to go see that movie. I was sitting out in the hall, back in the day, you'd go into the movie theater and they had like an open area, and you'd sit there and wait for the movie to end for the other people. It wasn't like, this was a while back. So I'm not going to say how many years. Anyway, and what was the name of that movie? It was one of those back in the day about, it was the Amityville Horror. And I was sitting there.
Oh.
All I heard was the screaming of the
Oh.
movie going, and I just absolutely, I looked at my
Yeah.
my partner at that time. I said, I can't go in here. I can't do this. And okay, so we left. But I was like,
Well, that was nice.
after that, I couldn't, those energies, you can just feel it. I was like, no.
Right.
And even though it's Hollywood has tried their best to recreate what people have gave testimony to and said, this is real. This is the
Right.
real deal. And even with whether it be ghosts, transitioned energies, people that have shape shifted, they've tried to recreate it the best they could,
Right.
to give people an idea. But then what they did is it's created fantasy.
Right. So there's the
Yeah, there they are.
that just creeped me out. Like I remember that too. Like I'd be going to a different movie and I'd hear screams coming out, and you'd hear like some kind of line from the movie, and oh, I wouldn't be necessarily going to that movie, but oh, that would just freak me out.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, no. And I didn't see Ghostbusters probably until I was 30 some years old. I never
Really?
watched it. I never seen it because I was so scared of it. And then
Well, it was supposed to be, it was supposed to be funny.
I know, and it was very yeah, it's supposed to be funny, but there's a side of it that is sort of,
Yeah.
it's very real for a lot of people if they've
Yeah.
experienced any kind of uh, energetic connection with spirits that are non-friendly, or what would you are icky, vibrationally, nah, you know I've been in those positions, and I was like, no, I don't want nothing to do with that ever again. And then I found, I heard the word that if you don't set a table for it, it won't come and eat. And so that's what I decided after that. I thought, you know what? I'm never going to set a table for anything I don't want to come and eat.
Well, so Jennifer did ask, what do you do to uninvite? Well, I don't think that you always intentionally, and you don't intentionally invite. I don't think, I mean, some people do. But she asked, how do you uninvite? Well, you just tell them to leave. If you come up with your own personal mantra, you have say your own prayer. You know that you're a divine being. You ask your angels, your personal angels, the archangels, Jesus, God,
Whatever.
Buddha, any
Yeah.
ascended master for support, ancestor,
Mm-hmm.
any angelic being that you can think
I
of,
envision this sacred circle around myself of white light,
your higher self,
create
for
that white
support.
light around yourself, and that nothing can penetrate that. So you're
Yep.
protected.
Put one around your house.
Yep.
Envision that.
Mhm.
Saint Germain.
Yep.
Um,
Exactly.
I'm just throwing out ideas. What is it? The violet flame of
Yes.
protection.
Yep.
Saint Christopher. Like if you're traveling in your car.
Yeah.
That
That's
kind
right.
of thing. Patron saint of what travels.
Yep.
So so there's lots. Whatever speaks to you. So all these things are an aspect of the divine. So that's how you do it. And you don't, I don't think anybody necessarily, well, most people don't intentionally, because like people that I know really struggle to go into places that are social places that maybe like bars. I'll
Yeah.
just put it that way. They have a hard time going into bars because that's where a lot of times things will kind of latch on, because
Yeah.
obviously not the nicest things happen sometimes in those places.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's a good one. Yeah.
yeah. So
Very
you
good.
just tell them to get out of there. Just tell them
Yeah.
to leave. You have to be the boss.
Yeah.
Justin and I talked about that on Tuesday. He said, you have to know that you're the captain. You're the boss. You alpha out of it. You are in charge.
That's right. Exactly. This is your space. You're in charge of who comes into your space. And that is people as well as entities, energies, things you're not comfortable with. Um, I've had energies invade my space that I wasn't comfortable, touch me, smack me,
Yeah.
things where I'm like, what the hell is that? And then I'm like, and I had my protection up, but somehow they got past my protection. But I believe that only happened because it was supposed to, honestly, because it brought like more, uh, what would you call it? More light to a situation,
Yeah.
It brought more intensity to something that needed to be acknowledged.
Well, I mean, how many times have you said to me like, "Oh, you've got," well, not how many times, but it's been a couple times where I've been dealing with something that and you've had a vision of me, and you've like, "Oh my gosh, you've got like this armor around you, or this shield of protection,"
Yeah.
that so you can literally set an intention of like almost like some permanency
Yes.
with your divine team, in a sense. Like, look, I don't ever want to have blah blah blah, whatever that is. I don't ever want to have, like, for me personally, I don't ever want to see spirit. I don't ever want to see it.
Right.
At least for this time being, I don't want to see it.
Right.
So I tell them that. And
I want to see
no,
you.
I don't.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Wow. Yeah. A lot of stuff going on.
You just tell them. And you know, it's their job to like, it's their job. Give them something to do.
Right. Yeah. Well, if you don't, I heard that years ago. If you don't command the angels to do something, they don't do nothing for you. You need to take and command. Everybody has angels what work for them, and protect and bring. You know, you have guardians and protectors, and those that work for you, and say, well, go out there and take care of the situation. You know, I don't
Yeah.
know how. You know, everybody's got different perspectives on their guides and those that work with them.
Yeah, I've had people ask me, do I have one? Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course you do. And not only that, but if you feel like you for whatever reason desire to have some more, you call more in.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'd like you feel like you need to have an entourage, and you have your higher self, and you have, you know,
Yes.
however you want to think of it. Like it's really up. You're only limited by your own creativity, so the
That's
limits are infinite.
That's right. It's all in possibility. That's what I always try and say all the time to myself and others. You know, it all comes into your own possibility. What do you want? But we are what we speak. We are what we think. We live the life that we are creating. We're like the spider. We're weaving that web in front of ourselves constantly every day. And we set with that intention. We get up and we say, this is a great day. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day. It's going to, you know, things are going to move forward for me. I have expansion, everything I need. I mean, this is what I do for myself. Everything I need is coming to me. I have no lack. And every person that I meet is purposed. And there's a reason why you came into my field, into my life, because that it's all purposed of the divine. It's to bring you to where you need to be, even those encounters that are not pleasant, you know. Because that's teaching you how to elevate your consciousness higher than that incident, you know, even with those energies that you come in and, man, I can't be vibrationally, just don't connect. You know,
Right.
you know, those people, you meet them and you're like, why is it vibrationally, it just doesn't feel like I want it to feel, or like I feel like it should, you know, and it just isn't going to, because you're on a different vibrational place than that person. You know, so, it's it's yeah it's
So I kind of breezed past it, but I meant to come back to it.
okay.
You know, a personal mantra or a personal prayer, or personal whatever, just to remind yourself of who you are, and your personal power, your self sovereignty. And I guess I stole it from Matt Kahn. You know Matt Kahn. He's out in Seattle, I think, out there, out west. He's a spiritual teacher. He's actually really fabulous. I just say, I am the light I am. I am the light I am. It's just something really, really simple.
Simple
So
and easy to remember. Yeah, that's
whatever works for you. But that's what I say to myself.
Yeah, that's good.
If I just feel like there's something, like this one time, I was looking up, an informational video on demonology.
Okay.
And you know, weird stuff can come through video.
Oh yeah.
And this terrible, like, I wasn't even close to the device. Like, I had pressed play and I walked away, and this sound came out. And if you've ever heard a sound that just wrecks you, well, yeah, I'm sure you have. Yeah. And I couldn't get it to stop. I don't know if because it just like shook me. Yeah. Like I wanted to throw the device out the window. Like I couldn't get it to stop. I ended up shutting my phone off.
Oh my goodness.
Because I was like, like I couldn't get my phone open. Yeah. It was awful. It was horrible. And I just started saying that to my head until I could no longer, because it kept ringing in my ears. It was like it was horrible, and it was only for a moment. Yeah. So like that's what I did. I just kept saying that until I just did not hear it anymore in my head. It was horrible.
Yeah. I think my mantra would be is all things are working out for me.
That's a good
I
one.
hear that in my head every day. All things are working out for me. I think it's because I listen to Esther Hicks every day,
Yeah.
every day, and that's her thing.
Abraham.
All things are working out for me. Everything is working out for me, and so I just keep saying that. All things, no matter what, even if it's even if it looks sort of resistant, which to me would be like that doesn't seem to be flowing. I just come back to center. All things are working out for me. It's going to be okay. It doesn't matter.
Veronica uses I am.
Yes, that's awesome. Yeah. I know a lot of people that they say that all the time. I am. I
Yes.
am. I am joy. I am happiness. I am peace.
Mm-hmm.
And it just manifests that in your life constantly. Everywhere I am finances. I have no problem. Everything manifests for me easily.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard people say, I don't need money. Money needs me. They just say it all the time. I don't need
Well,
money.
that's a good one.
Money needs me, so that when it comes to me, it tells me, I can direct it which way it needs to go in my life,
Yeah.
send those finances the directions they need to go. So that's pretty positive. Something came to me a minute ago. I don't know. I heard in my spirit was Akashic records. And we need to talk about that maybe
We
next.
do.
Yeah, that we need to go talk about that next time. That there is a pull on the energy that people are really connecting to their Akashic records. They want to know more about that, and so I think that's something that we need to throw in the pot to chat about. I think that would be a good discussion.
Well, um, next week. Well, next week would be
What is next week? Yeah, so I was just
Christmas Day.
It is. Oh wow,
Yeah.
we won't be talking next week, I'm sure.
Well, do you
Yeah.
want to
Christmas Day.
like brush past it just right now, like just a kind of a preview? So, kind of a trailer of it.
And the next week is the first, which will be New
Right. So
Year's
we've
Day.
got quite a while before
Yeah,
that
so
would
we won't
happen.
be back until the 8th probably, because we're probably
Right.
gonna
So
take
that's
those
quite a
2
while.
weeks off. Yeah. Well, I don't know, because I don't really have a totality on it. I just heard it in my spirit.
Okay.
You need to
Well,
cover this. I don't know. Maybe there's somebody out there pulling on it.
Jennifer saying yes, please. Well,
Uh,
Akashic records are. Veronica's asking, where are we all on for the 21st? Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. And we can that's something that we could come back to as well on the 21st, but we could do it a little bit then too, but we can maybe just do a little bit of a preview of what the Akashic records are. And I can talk a little bit about what it the Nordic version or the Norse version of how my lineage traditionally thought of the Akashic records.
Yeah.
Because it's there's a variation on that, but it's kind of one and the same,
Right.
and kind of very self-empowering, actually.
Yes.
So the Akashic records they're basically all the records of everything that ever was.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah.
So
It's all events, thoughts, words, emotions, everything, all events. And when you pull into your Akashic records, you're going to find everything, beginning to end,
from every lifetime.
from every lifetime. Yeah, from everything that you have basically signed up for in this incarnation and before.
Yeah. And whether I should mention, since people are really starting to be a little bit more understanding of this, whether it be on this planet or not.
Right. It's a very interesting. I don't know. I just felt spirit just say, you need to cover this topic. So the next time we get together, I think we need to be, and that will be a New Year's. Hey, that's perfect too for New Year's. Think about it, because it's a new day, it's a new year, and we're delving into all of the records of what spirit has for us.
And it would be my cousin Carol is watching, and she's reminding me that it would be Grandma View's her Grandma View, my great aunt Celeste
Yes.
birthday on
Oh,
January 8th.
wow, beautiful. Perfect. That's going to be perfect. I think that would be something we just need to really delve into. Um,
Yeah, so we can earmark it for that.
yeah, I would almost be open to. I'm just like throwing it out to the spirit that if spirit wanted to, we could do some like akashic record reading. You know what I'm saying? For
Yeah,
people that would call in. I'm not going to go real deep, but
yeah,
I would go very, briefly what spirit would be like really connecting to in that person's.
yeah. And there's people that specialize in that as
Yeah,
well.
it's not my
Um,
specialty, but I can do it. I've
yeah,
worked in that.
we've done it.
Yeah, we've done it. I've worked in that range because it's like there's it's like you have to look past the person and go back as far as you can, as spirit will take you to, and
Well,
open the book. You know.
last night I was cleaning out my computer and I came across the recordings that I made of
Oh,
those.
really?
Yes.
Oh my,
So
that's intense. Yeah,
I almost deleted them
really. Wow.
and I did not,
You
just so you
did.
know.
Okay. Well, I was wondering if you still had those. Those were a
Yeah, I do.
long time
They're
ago.
yeah. Well, they're earlier this year.
Oh, they're up this year. Well, that's a long time ago.
January,
January.
February,
Yeah,
March.
in February. Yeah.
Um
Those were
so
amazing, amazing connections.
so the Akashic records and how that relates to Norse
Yeah.
tradition, Shaman Shad would like he likes, and he wouldn't necessarily correct me, not in a like a mean kind of way, but it's not really a spiritualism or a religion, but they see it as part of the soul, which it is.
Yeah.
It is part of your soul, and it's part of the memory of your cellular memory, your genetic memory, your lineage, or energetic. There's lots of ways to think of that. So it's your soul memory. So
Yeah.
so in some ways, maybe not epigenetics per se, but
Sort of
so
in there. Yeah.
yeah, it's in there somehow. So anyways, so it's part of the orlog, and it's part of the soul complex, how they think of it. There's many components, but they call it the orlog. And your guides, your spiritual guides, your ancestors, they have different labels as well. Like your Dees would be like your female ancestors, and in plural would be your Deseer. So like your grandmothers, your aunts, your that are with you, they're your protectors, or your guides. They would be your Deseer, and they are also part of that, and they help guide you through, I believe, through your orlog, and give you some direction in that. And so they're part of that orlog. And then they're also then, and they can be one and the same or different. They can also be part of your Valkyrie. So it gets very complex.
Yes.
So, and I might be mistaken on all this, so please don't write it down and take notes and say that I said this, because it's very complex.
No, I think you're doing great.
Okay, good. Definitely would be one of those things that you'd have to read up on before you actually like delivered it to somebody, and I did not. So then there's other parts of that. There's the Haminya and the Fugula. There's some other things too. And there's some parts like when they consider like when you were in your mother's womb, and the placenta actually is what, I can't remember which one it was, the Haminya or the Fugula, is kind of like your partner. Yes. And that is, it actually has I can't even think how to describe it now. But once you're born, that it stays with you too, in like kind of in a spiritual way.
Yes.
So like, that takes on usually that ends up being like your spirit animal.
Yes.
Essentially.
Exactly.
So that's also part of your soul complex.
Yeah.
Not the Orlog though, but
Right.
once that individual becomes part of your DCer or your DC, they might show up with their spirit animal.
Yes.
So, like when my grandmother guide comes around, my grandmother Birgit, she also shows up with her Wolfie, her angel wolf, who I don't, is it Fugula or if it's Hamia? Anyway.
I feel like it's Fugula. That's what
Okay.
I feel like, but
okay. If I might not even be pronouncing it correctly.
Right.
But,
yeah.
But it's the F word.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's good.
Yeah. So, and then there's other parts of this whole complex as well.
Yes.
So, but all these things we have access to, and it is your birthright to have access to them. And the shaman or a seer or is part of that culture. It's I believe this Seider.
Yeah.
Seider. And depending on who you talk to, it's because everybody was really in charge of their own spiritualism. It wasn't like you went to a church. It was really up to the leaders of the household, the parents, the grandfather, the whoever that led that. So it's not like you went to the church and it was the pastor and they determined how everybody did things. It was unique to that little community or that little house, or maybe a collective group, a tiny small collective group. So there would be a lot of variation and a lot of overlap as well. So it could, I'll have a whole bunch of books that use a lot of the same terms, but there's a lot of variation then too. So
right, exactly. Well, that's good. That was a good explanation of it, sort of. All around. Yeah, it was good. Yeah,
all over the place.
All over. Well, yeah. No, I'm watching you because you've got all these energies around you that I'm seeing.
Cool.
Yeah, grandmother. It started before you started talking, and I'm like, wow. Okay.
She's here.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually my left side.
Mm-hmm.
This is my right side. But
yep, exactly. Yeah, that and a lot of things there going on for you. So it's good.
It's very cold now on this side. Mm-hmm. She's like on me or something. I don't know.
Yeah, right behind you. Yeah, and there was like
she's a real stiff in her collared thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's quite a few other energies. I'm like, wow, I think that what I'm hearing is for you, there's a great download coming. So
great
download coming for you.
And fantastic.
That's why she's with you really strong.
She hasn't been around lately.
Yeah, she's going to be with you though, very strong to prepare you and help you through this download. But I don't know.
Is it going to be shitty?
No, it's just an intense download. I don't know exactly what, but expansion and download. So, you know how you get those downloads? You get like, wow, mega downloads. This is a good one coming for you. But it's you've been in preparation for this though, since probably the
beginning of time.
No, last 2 months you've been like moving for this preparation for this download. So it's going to be exciting, and you're going to have lots to talk about with it.
Okay.
It's going to bring some more opening spaces and places for you. So it's going to be good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm just sitting here. I was listening to you, and then I'm like zoning to the grandmother and all this stuff going on and all this swirling energy around you. And I'm like, wow, download coming, download. That's what grandmother's like. It's on the way here. You've got some sleeplessness, some things, you're going to be like, wow. So good stuff. So if she acts half awake in the next few days, the next few times she does this, it's like, I'm half awake. I was up all night, whatever. I was getting that download from
grandmother. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Who knows what's going to happen, but
no, I feel like she's been kind of, my dad's been seeing a lot of wolf stuff.
Really? Okay.
Well, last summer he's been like, he'll send me a text and he'll use the little wolf emoji and I'm like, well, I know where she is.
Yeah.
So like it's like his way of like kind of squeezing it in there. So yeah, she hasn't been all that active, but I mean, I call her if I want to, but
right. Oh yeah, yeah, I know. And
so yeah, but the I guess the teaching has always been that, you know, you're really responsible to access that or activate that stuff for yourself.
Yeah.
You can, and like I said, you can ask for support from anyone, or well, you know,
Yep. I think
your spiritual guides, your well, in the 3D
your
as
spirit
well.
team. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you get. That's what you build your team for. You sort of know who's on your team, and that's why. I mean, I have a lot of people that just ask me, "So who's on my team?" You know, because they don't really they want to know more precisely. Well, I feel my deceased husband is there, or my deceased mother, or my this or that. I mean, but when you know who's on your team, it's encouraging to every morning you're building your day with those people, those entities, those energies, you know, and so it's really positive. And so I think that is definitely the direction. Spirit always wants to keep us elevated and into a higher consciousness and opening ourselves up. So that's really cool.
Yeah. Jennifer asks, I guess she's been feeling some push in from somebody that wants to be heard.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw that comment. I would love a reading again because I have one that wants to be heard.
Yeah. Wow.
And then my cousin Scott, who is also a cousin to Carol, his grandmother would also be. I know I'm giving you too much information right now. I'll stop talking.
Oh, that's okay. No, that's fine. That's fine because I'm sort of winding down. I got to get out of here at 10 o'clock. I got a client coming, so I've sort of got to get into meditation with that client. But but I will definitely. I feel like because when we were talking about the Akashic records, I feel like that I was sort of over here. I mean, I was all over the place, of course, because I was with you, and I was thinking about Jennifer because I was thinking, wow, I felt like that there was some answers for her in that, definitely, that are going to come up with that, and that she needs to just set that intention. Those things are going to come forward, and even maybe that energy that needs to be heard is going to. I don't feel like that. Okay, something just came to me with that. This energy is not a normal guide of hers. It's not somebody that's normally with her as a regular guide. This is somebody that has came in as an extra, sort of. I don't even feel like they.
I think she should free write.
Yeah.
I don't know why I got that. Like I've never thought that.
Okay.
For anybody.
Okay.
I don't know why that just came in, but just free write, Jen.
Yeah.
And you can message me if you want to ask me what that means. I've never done it myself.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Yeah.
So
I can guide her in that.
Yep, you can do that for sure. But yeah, this is a totally different energy. I feel it is it may not even be a human energy, a human transition energy, honestly.
Like the energy hasn't been incarnated, but it's angelic. Like she's not anything that she should be afraid of, right? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. Or good Palladian energy. You know what I mean? Palladians are wonderful to have an energy to work with you.
So it's good.
Yes, it's good. There's nothing negative about it. It's just it's just totally different. I just don't. That's why I was like checking in, and I felt like, oh, this is nobody that is regular to her circle at all. This is a different thing. I think she might have called in some new angels or new guides that are just angelic, like you said, or something like that. That it's just another person adding to her.
She's been doing some healing, so I wonder, are you feeling like they're you're like the blue
healing like
the Blue Man Group?
like, yep, it could be that. The blue man healers, um, uh, Angel Raphael, which is angel of healing. Um, hmm. Right before that, I seen a tree. I don't know where that tree's coming into it, but there's a tree. And right after somewhere in there, there's a tree, and that I seen an offering coming to the tree. It's a sacred tree, an offering coming to the tree of for I don't know exactly what for though. What the offering's for? It's almost like an offering of a love, peace. Um, Anybody that has a desire and need from the spirit, make an offering to Mother Earth and offer it. This is a very sort of indigenous thing, uh, very grounding thing. But when you make that offering, it is usually food, um, something that can sit under the tree, and that's not, or Mother Earth will take it right back, which was like corn, tobacco, things that Mother Earth can absorb right into. But there's an offering that's needed. I don't know. So whoever I'm speaking to, whatever you feel, if you feel it in your guide or guidance to take this offering, and you have a tree in your yard that you would consider a sacred place that you could go to, and make this offering. And
one that you really like.
Yep, one you like, that you would call it a place that you really like and honor, and it's a grounding space for you. Make that little offering of some sort. It could be rice, it could be an egg, it could be anything like that, whatever you feel guided. And just sit it beneath the tree and just say a prayer and say, I'm offering this for, toward my need, whatever that need may be in this hour, whether it be healing, mentally, emotionally, physical healing. I'm offering this for my need. I have a financial need. I need assistance. I need whatever it is. But anyway, this is my encouragement. This is what Spirit is giving me. There's an offering that you're being called to this offering. So if you feel it inside you, it resonates with you, you need to do that and put it together and take it out there and place it beneath this sacred tree and say your prayer, and then let it go and believe. Now step into all possibility. This is done. It's done. I'm taking this and I'm going to receive from this offering. Mother Earth, universe has it. God has it. Spirit has it. It's done. I completed it. And it's done. And so peace is coming. Finances are coming. Everything you need is coming to you. And you're going to step into that and just trust and know it's good. The angels have got you. And so I don't know what that's all about, but that was my guide.
She will.
Yep,
She'll know.
exactly. Whoever it's for, you're going to take it, and you're going to be like, wow. And so the next time we get together, I can't wait to hear good reports of exciting things that are
Yeah.
And
I was just going to ask, since Scott was called here, and my cousin and Carol.
Yes.
And their grandmother was my great Aunt Celeste.
Okay.
And I've always loved that name.
Yeah, I love it too. It's so beautiful.
I was just going to ask, since you saw so many around,
yes.
if she was here.
Whenever you say her name, I see like a beautiful golden light, just like a woman that would be twirling in a golden dress. I don't know. That's what I see.
She was pretty golden.
Yeah, just beautiful, just twirling on this golden, and it's sparkling and just beautiful joy. And when and she's such a busy person. Oh my gosh, busy. That's what I'm like. So what are you busy doing? She's just like busy. She's like, she likes to be around, excitement and things that are happening. I like to be where the action is, where things are happening and people are happy. And this is a beautiful time of year. Favorite. I love this time of year. This is the stuff I'm hearing when I'm connecting to that energy, to Celeste. I love this time of year. It sparkles. It's beautiful. I love Christmas trees, and I love Christmas, and I love being with my family at Christmas. And I love, and she's like saying something about I feel like I connected to an animal. I love this animal. I don't know whether she ever had an animal, but
I don't know.
I don't know either. I love this. It's almost like a dog. I love this dog. It's just a lot of love there, a lot of love and sparkle.
So I didn't know her very. I mean, I just remember her being. I mean, I knew her. I mean, great. I mean, she was a great aunt. So, and she lived not very far from my grandparents, the ones I got hit. The car ran into.
Yeah, the car. Yeah.
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 So it was my grandfather's sister,
Okay.
and you know, I just remember her just being so. She's just super nice. She was just really nice and loving.
Mm. Yeah, that's the good. That's what I feel too. Very sparkly though.
Well, Carol says that's her.
Very sparkly. Yeah, very sparkly and lovely. Just lovely and just full of. She's like those hot cookies on Christmas. You know, this just so delicious, just delicious. You know, and just exciting and
She's delicious.
yeah, she's delicious. Yeah, and um,
She
uh,
was the only girl of. There was 5 kids,
only girl.
and
Wow.
only girl,
Wow.
and so my great grandmother,
Hmm.
Vernetta, if you can imagine this, sent all 4 of her boys. Well, it wasn't really her choice. To World War II,
Wow.
and you know, all 4 of them came home. Can you imagine that?
Wow.
Just
I don't know.
being
Yeah.
home, waiting to see if they'd come home.
Oh, the intensity of that. Wow.
Yeah,
Mm,
and the 2 oldest never married.
really?
They died pretty young too.
Wow.
hmm Carol could probably speak more on that because I don't, you know,
Yeah.
it's, you know, the stories because she's a little bit older than me. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, isn't that interesting?
That is
And they
interesting.
never left their family home; they stayed with their parents.
Wow. That
hmm
happened a lot back in those days, though. I mean, I have cousins that never married,
Yeah.
stayed with me. My uncle lived with my uncle till the day he passed. I mean, they
hmm
were the two boys, and I'm like, this is a little different, but this wasn't a different thing back then. I don't think. I think
No, I don't think so.
it was something that sort of like this is just what we do, you know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. My heart just started racing, like really, vibration. I don't know, a lot of intensity, but
Okay.
wow.
Carol says yes, full of love and warmth. Yeah, I
Yeah,
just always known her to be
yeah,
just nice.
exactly. Yeah, just a beautiful soul, and uh,
hmm
and she just likes to be where things are happening. That's what she's like. Shows me like excitement. You know, I want to be where things are happening. You know, where
She put
something's happening. There's a party happening, and I'm going. You know, a beautiful party with a Christmas tree. All the. I mean, it reminds me. My picture in my mind is like uh, a Fred Astaire movie where everybody's dancing and there's in those old dresses and there's the guys are in their suits and there's a party happening. There's a beautiful tree in the corner and it's stockings hanging and I don't know. It's like a movie, like the White Christmas movie. That's what I
Mhm.
picture in my mind. That she's given me this picture of how everything was just glorious. Just fantastic. And it was just that day and age. Maybe that's what she connects to, that magnificent, that era of everything was so unique and different back then. And it was just it was women were beautiful and men were dressed in their suits and they were just proper and things were just
Mhm.
different. I don't know. That's the vibe
Yeah,
but she's just a lovely soul. Yeah.
I
So
like it.
I do too.
It's so funny because it's the genetics in our family are very interesting. Her son, Tommy, and so it would be her, so it would be my grandfather's nephew,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Spit an image of each other. It's so weird. I mean, it's not like you couldn't tell them apart. You could, but they just look so much alike.
Really.
It's just so weird. Like like everybody's just a little bit different recipe. Like
Yeah,
just,
exactly. That's a
somebody
little
just
different recipe. I
yeah,
love that.
somebody just made the cookies. It was the same. The cookies just turned out a little bit different
It's a
each
little bit
time.
different. Yes,
It was the same recipe,
it's
but
the
a little
same
bit different.
recipe. I
You
love
know,
that. That's awesome.
the maybe it was a different brand of butter or something. Who knows?
Yes,
It was
that's
just
so good.
yeah, it's just so funny how that just turns
Yeah.
out. Maybe the chocolate chips were different that time. You
Yes,
know, it's still milk
exactly.
chocolate.
Exactly. A little different, but it's still the same recipe. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
beautiful.
it was just interesting.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I gotta get going, guys, but
okay,
this
yeah.
has been beautiful.
We'll
Thank
see
you so
you
much.
on
On the 8th.
well, the 8th,
January
yeah,
8th?
for
Oh, yeah.
no BS.
21st. Yeah. We'll be on the 21st with the girls with we'll be
Yeah,
doing
that's
our
Monday.
that's a Monday, that 2:00.
Tomorrow.
Yep. We'll be here and bright lights and ready to go and
Be
see what
here,
the
be
21st
here,
is
be
gonna bring
square.
us. That's
Yeah.
right. It's gonna be intense and awesome. I'm excited.
The
Be with you.
convention of the convergence,
The convergence. Yes.
convergence, the other C word. I don't know.
Yes. I'll be there. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome. So I'll see you then.
So long, farewell.
Farewell.
Auf
Love
Wiedersehen.
you and have a wonderful day. Do your sacred offerings and just
I am the light I am.
yes, all things are working out for you and me and all of us.
Yeah.
Amen. See you later. Blessed
Bye.
be. Love y'all. Talk to you later. Bye,
Okay.
honey.